Welcome to Team 537's Robo recap for January 17th through the 23rd. I'm your host, Manol Inthavong. The second week of build season has been a busy one. The main goal of this week has been making the move from planning and designing to starting to bring the designs to life. Wood still remains to be the primary construction material of the week, as prototypes are developed for components that will allow our robot to collect and shoot balls, cross barriers, and climb towers. Working prototype concepts are then transferred to the computer and modeled for manufacture. Some of the bigger developments of this week have been with the code and electrical CDTs. Last season, FIRST released new processing and power units for all competition robots. This season, more new and standard equipment was released, updating the radio communication equipment on the robots. The team first received the new equipment at the kickoff event. Since then, our electrical and code teams have been busy coming to understand the new equipment and how to best make use of it. Our code CDT lead, Taylor Beinborn, has been one of those making the transition to the new equipment. We pried him away from his keyboard for a few minutes to tell us about some of the new components and how they have changed the work of the code CDT.
The primary responsibility of the code CDT is to code the various functions of the robot. This would include the drivetrain, the collector, our shooter, and we also code autonomous mode. We're also responsible for the controls of these various aspects. For example, making sure our shooter is always going at the right speed, or our drivetrain doesn't draw too much current for the battery. Code primarily works with the Robo reel and our Eclipse software, which we use to program. However, in order to have an accurate idea of what's going on with the robot, we also use various electrical encoders, potentiometers, and motor controllers such as talons and victors, which allow us to read the speed of various motors or tell which position they're pointing, and to adjust the current or voltage, basically the power we send to these motors. Last year was the first year that we got the Robo Rio system, as well as the Eclipse software. And the Robo Rio was a very nice improvement because when we write our code, we need to deploy it to the robot. And previously, we would need to restart the system each time we deployed new code, a process which could take up to a minute. But now it deploys automatically without any rebooting, so that allows us to test our code faster to make sure it works better. It went very well, and we were able to use the Robo Rio to create our team's first swerve drive, so all in all, it was a big success. The Robo Rio has a lot of other functionality, which hopefully we'll explore this year. This year's the first year we're doing CAN, which is a type of wiring or control system where each motor is interconnected and then directly plugged into the Robo Rio. This allows for more precise control of the motors and various systems on the robot. The talons are an interface online, so that's a bit different for us. We're used to having to actually access various items in the program itself, but now we can just do an online web interface, so that's new. We're also working on vision tracking this year, using a camera to detect a goal, so that is a new challenge for code.
The electrical CGT is also busy at work, prototyping, making sure past year's robots are all fixed and ready to go before we start getting too far into build season. Robo Recap spent a few minutes this week with the electrical lead, Kyle Herda, learning about the work of the electrical CDT and its many systems it's responsible for.
The electrical CDT works on wiring and mounting components to the robots, and then we also work on maintaining the garage's cleanliness and the batteries that we use. Electrical works with the 2015 and previous drive systems that FIRST has implemented, and those are used to control the robot from laptops and also make sure that everything runs properly. We also work on an individual component level to make side projects, such as our Cannon Crusher, a candy cannon which we use in parades, and individual robot frames that are still in testing. Biggest problems that I see is we are using 6 drive motors this year, which can overload our main breaker and force it to shut off when we if we decide to turn from a dead stop. Another problem is fitting it all in the space given, which would be a 120-inch frame perimeter and a robot that's only 14.1 inches tall. The hardest to implement this year is probably our climber to fit all the necessary components and piston, which would be pistons and solenoids and all the tubing inside the robot frame, and being able to manipulate that to fit underneath the low bar as well as extend and retract within the space given.
Last year, our animation team created a game based off the game challenge that played on laptops and other computers. It was a great success and was enjoyed by many people at regional competitions and community demonstrations. We sat down with the animation CDT member, Maya Scher, to discuss the Safety Animation Challenge.
The Safety Animation Contest is a competition given to us by FIRST every year. The competition requires us to build a short video with an animation software while we covering safety topics and pertaining to a certain theme given that year. Requirements for the video is it be no longer than 40 seconds, and this year's theme required us to go over all the facts of safety at all points during competition, whether it be building a robot, transporting to competitions, and transport around competitions. For the animation, we decided to go along with the Stronghold theme given this year, along with all the requirements given with the challenge. And along with that, all the members of the CDT, new and old, contributed to the final animation. Animation turned out really well because we were able to incorporate new techniques along with the old techniques we had already been able to use into this year's animation challenge.
For this year, the Animation CDT has been hard at work crafting an adapted version of Stronghold.
Stronghold is going to be challenging because of the fact that all of the different defenses have to be modeled separately and then put together, and every single different defense and robot and goal has to be separately coded to make up the whole game. So it's a lot of little itty-bitty parts that are going to make up this really cool thing in the end, but it's got to be a lot of work to get there. Stronghold being so complex is the fact that it's too complex for our software and our time restraints. So we as a team had to make decisions on what defenses to cut, and we decided that only 5 defenses are going to be used in the first versions of the game, along with the fact that we cut down the field so it's much smaller and more manageable for us to play on. The game is progressing on pace and on schedule with what we have planned. We plan to have the game done before our mini regional in February, but we hope to have it done at least a week or 2 in advance so that different tweaks and changes can be made so it's more suitable for our mini regional audience.
Mark your calendars now for the Charger Robotics Mini Regional. Our annual invitational practice tournament will be Sunday, February 21st at Hamilton High School. The Mini Regional gives teams the opportunity to test out the robots in competition on an actual course while they still have time to make modifications. It's a great time to see the robots up close and in action. Other activities are also available that day for children of all ages. Kids can drive Bex robots, join in at the coloring area, make buttons, or have their faces painted. All are welcome. Tickets for the Robo raffle remain on sale from all team members. This is our major fundraising event of the season. Prizes include a laptop, a TV, a major cash prize, and more. The drawing for the Robo raffle tickets takes place at the Mini Regional event on February 21st. It is not necessary to be present to win. For tickets or more information, contact any member of Team 537 or check out the team website at team537.org. Thanks for joining us for this summary of the second week of build season. Tune in next week for the Team 537's Robo recap.
Hear ye, hear ye. It is time to throw down the gauntlet as Charger Robotics Team 537 hosts their annual mini-regional and Robo raffle. Perchance you may want to visit Sussex Hamilton High School on February 21st from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Here you can observe more than a dozen robots in action and get a feel for how a real competition regional works. This is one of our major fundraising events with an array of prizes, ranging from a laptop, a large screen smart TV, a major cash award, and more. This is one of our major fundraising events with many prizes including a laptop, a large screen smart TV, a major cash award, and more. To purchase raffle tickets from team members, email us at team537@hamiltonstudents.org with any questions, or visit the team's website, team537.org. Please purchase tickets before Saturday, February 20th. We hope to see you there.